Woo! Welcome back, traders and Nio family. Let's get straight in, no BS, into this Nio video because there's a lot to cover. So make sure you stay until the end. And do me a favor, like and sub. Let's get this train rolling. Nio's in a very interesting spot, seeing as your daily close, and we'll pull up the good old Nio train on the daily. Look at it. Look at it on the 4-hour chart. You have not budged on this MACD line. You've really just remained flat while consolidating within this wedge or within this bull flag, right? Although it's not a bull flag because you have descending, but it's very similar. It's a falling wedge or just a regular wedge, right? So you can see here, guys, you tapped $8, came back down, bounced off of 771, failed to hold, rejected, and you consolidated further into the end of this wedge. You had a fake out breakdown, which is one of the most bullish things when you're able to invalidate this breakdown and prove it is a busted pattern off of a high wick candle. I'll give you an example of when that happened. You don't have to go far, guys. You look back here, you busted beneath this uptrend and then perfectly closed above it before your next run. So that was $7 and $8. That's a $1 swing, baby. You also had a pretty perfect example of it right here. That was insane. Going all the way down to $5 before seeing a new all-time high of this local run at $7.90. So Nio is not afraid to do this kind of thing, and it's quite hilarious that it keeps doing it again. It's almost like market makers are looking for these liquidity grabs and getting people out of their positions, right? For people who are holding stop losses at the end of this wedge. So very, very, very funny stuff there, Nio. But however, right, let's just appreciate how symmetrical this Nio run has been. I mean, you just look at it. Just take off the glasses and just look at how beautiful this run has been. You stair step, consolidation, stair step, consolidation, stair step. And this is where it starts to get weird for me. You see this like bull flag and into this falling wedge. So you really need a strong pop here on good volume, regardless of what the market does. Otherwise, in my opinion, you're coming down to test the 200-day EMA on the 4-hour, which just so happens to be around that horizontal resistance of the previous high in this local run. So that's the short time frame on Nio. Let's get into the daily because the daily shows something kind of interesting. What did you do today? Nio, what did you do today? You look at Nio stock, you formed a hanging man candle, typically a bearish candle, but you look at how this candle has printed on the stock previously. You had one here. You also had one here. So it's bullish, it's bearish. You had one here. That's 2 for bullish. That's 2 and 2. It's pretty much equally bullish as it is bearish. What I'm emphasizing here when I speak, what did Nio do, right? Look at that. That is your gap fill on Nio stock. Technically, you came all the way down to that gap fill, stepped in here to push the price higher. You successfully defended this gap fill at approximately 729. So this gap fill fulfills at 727. So you came 2 cents away from fulfilling this gap fill. That's a lot of F's, fulfilling this gap fill. And now you closed within the falling wedge. So what reasonably I should expect going into tomorrow is I expect some kind of volatile pump. I do. And if I go into the 4-hour, I can show a little bit further, or maybe the 2-hour, how your MACD is beginning to curl up on these shorter time frames. Now, I don't usually go into the 2 hour and the 1 hour. But you can see here, guys, look at it. Just look at it. Oh, pounding my computer. You had a into the close of the day, a pretty crazy bullish hammer candle into this weird like bear flag that you broke out of. Typically, these break down. And I say typically because Nio is on this absolutely tear, going for the old ball and chain, right? So if I was a skeptical person on this stock, I would take this drawdown and I would put it from the breakdown and I would say, oh man, Nio's going down to 715. Not too good. I'm going to sell my shares here. And then Nio continues to prove people wrong, breaks back into the falling wedge, and is now on the cusp of breaking out of this bad boy. As you can see here on the 2 hour time frame, you almost have a green cross on the MACD. Since the first time you had a fake out here, even though that did bring you from $7.50 to $8. This one was more of a true cross, bringing you from $6.99 up to $7.90. So I expect some kind of move here tomorrow on Nio, and a green one at that. Overall, a larger market rebound, which might snowball for Nio and create some crazy momentum to finally do what we've been preaching on this channel for what feels like months, is close above 771. That's your mission. That is the target that I am giving you guys, and it has not changed. It has remained the same. Close above 771. So when you guys have your Robinhood loaded up tomorrow, make sure to watch 771, because that is going to be absolutely crucial. That once you get above, you might see some kind of like crazy volatility move into this previous top at 8, and then above that 945 was our price target, or 950. So we shall see. Nio looks absolutely delicious. Let's go into the larger macro thesis for Nio and see if anything has changed there. I mean, you still have the gap fill there, and then the gap fill at 629. So let's say you form some kind of head and shoulders pattern here. You would come down and fill that gap, because this theoretically is a shoulder. This is a head. If you broke this and then popped and came back down, that's a head and shoulders. So that is also something to monitor on Nio. Head or shoulder, head, right? Something like that. Theoretically, in case you guys don't know, for these inverse head and shoulder, or for these head and shoulders patterns, do you know how to get the price target of where it could drop to? You would take the overall length of the head to the shoulder and then put it on the breakdown, which just so happens to bring you into that area of key support at 556. So regardless of what happens, guys, I stay bullish and I remain convicted on this stock that on the macro, you are probably the most bullish stock in the small cap market, which is crazy to me to see Nio, our beloved Nio, doing crazy things, and with this setup, looking, holy cow, I have so many lines on this chart, looking to do something magical here. So let's go into the monthly, because that is the beefy part of this thesis. You can see 3 white soldiers candlestick pattern on 3 rising green volume bars. Very, very tremendously bullish. For anyone new who does not know, 3 white soldiers is one of your greatest bullish reversal patterns, in which you typically see crazy squeeze moves, like up to, I could see this thing running to 13 to 16. And if you get above 16, guys, I mean, if you get above 16, you could be talking 25. You could be talking 25. And I also see a world where maybe the inverse head and shoulders isn't this, but maybe it's up to 16, draw down to 7, and then you run. And I mean, theoretically, right? Just stay with me for a moment in time. If that was the case, your profit target on NIO, whoops, I just annihilated that horizontal trend, would be upwards of $66 for a double top of the all-time high. That would be insane. But tell me if you guys see it below. I have a knack for kind of identifying long-term macro formations here, because I kind of see this U-shaped cup. So that's your shoulder. This is your head. And then you would have to make one more shoulder down to 7 before going to 66. That would be crazy, man. That would be like a Carvana-esque move there, going from $3 up to 66. And I want it. I preach it. I will be there every step of the way for you guys. So make sure to like the video, slap the subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000 freaking subscribers. I couldn't be happier. And I appreciate all of you guys. Honestly, I really do. The NIO supporters are one of the strongest communities in the entire stock market right now. And there's no doubt in my mind that this thing is bearish. It's bullish, guys. 1, 2, 3 white soldiers. So that is my NIO coverage today, guys. Make sure to slap the subscribe button. God bless to each and every single one of your families. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tune in for the next video, and I'll see you later. Peace.